There we go. Jonathan, when you get a chance, turn your camera back on. Welcome everyone. Super excited to share this with you. Excited to see Jonathan speak. I've actually seen Jonathan speak on stage, but on a masterclass virtually, it's a different story because he brings that energy. So today we're gonna put him to the test. No, I'm just kidding. His story is magical no matter where he's at. The first time he told me, actually, the first time he told me, I got goosebumps. So I can't wait for him to share it with you guys. Just making sure Zoom webinar works perfectly. Jonathan or Blanche, if you're there, please turn on the chat. Very important. Okay, I think it's on now. Boom. Nope, not the panelists. Mr. Lowe.
Hello, hello.
What's good, brother? Hey, I'm just gonna make sure, just doing a quick tech check. Uh, make sure the chat goes to everyone, not just panelists. Can you make sure that setting is good? That's an open chat. Welcome everyone. Give it a few minutes. Well, thanks for being early. One time my mentor told me if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So all these people are A players already, Jonathan. Take note.
Hi, guys. Very excited to finally get a chance to share in depth everything I've learned.
Amazing. All right. Why can't anyone see in the setting? Okay. Hey, make sure Jonathan Blanche, one more time. The webinar only allows me to do chats. Make sure it's everyone. There should be a setting. Allow people to chat.
Let me try to. Hi, can anybody in the chat say something in the chat?
No, I don't think, because mine says who can see your messages? Hi all. It's only you and me.
Can somebody try typing something?
No, it says chat disabled. All right, try changing the settings. Let me see if I can do it. Settings. Chat. Jonathan, you're gonna have to do it on your side, brother.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. How do I do it? Hold on. Hmm. Okay. Can everyone try typing again now? Should be fine. Okay, I think it's done.
There we go. Make sure your option is on to everyone. What's good, everyone? What's up? What's up? Everyone, drop where you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you tuning in from? I'm curious. Doha, Dubai, damn. Dubai, I miss Dubai. Kenya, Hong Kong, Bali, another Bali. Okay, good, good. All over the world. Pittsburgh. Okay, cool. Las Vegas. I got that. I'm not missing that Vegas heat, that's for sure. South Africa. Okay, okay. Beautiful. All over the world. Jonathan, you got a cult following all over the world, brother. Must feel good. What's your favorite place you ever spoke at? Favorite stage, favorite city?
I think my favorite was in actually I enjoyed speaking in Africa. Maybe it's because my first time being there and the culture there was extremely different. And the things that I spoke about usually was very welcomed, but over there it was confusing, so it was pretty exciting. I was speaking about Donald Trump, I was speaking about crypto, I was speaking about future of digital currencies, and
Amazing, amazing. Okay, Jonathan, make sure we're recording, and then why don't you go ahead and screen share and keep your one side up so we can keep that keep the slideshow going.
how do I see if it's recorded? Hold on.
It's recording already. It says top right recording.
Okay, do we wait for more?
Yeah, they're gonna start trickling in. Why don't you go ahead and share the screen? We go from there.
Hold on, let me.
There we go. Okay, hit present, top right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, guys, welcome, welcome. I see some familiar faces in there. What's good? Guys, I'll make a quick introduction to myself and then I'll hand it over to Jonathan, our keynote speaker for the evening. So guys, my name is Ali. I go by Ali the Alchemist. I have a marketing company, I have a tech company, and I'm also an author and speaker. And my job, my passion is education. I love teaching, I love learning, and I always meet with other people that love teaching and learning. And Jonathan happens to be one of them, happens to be a good friend of mine. And his program called Rebirth, I resonated with it a lot because me and Jonathan have a similar story. You know, in entrepreneurship, everyone just sees the good side of the Lamborghinis, the cars, the traveling, the speaking. They don't see the struggles, Jonathan, right? They don't see the depression. They don't see the lack of direction. We're having to figure it out by ourselves. So, together with Jonathan, we put together this amazing program that really helps you combine different spiritual strategies and physical strategies into one framework, and it's called Rebirth. And it's personified by Jonathan's logo. If you see behind Jonathan's background right now, there's a dragon and a phoenix. Jonathan, show me the tattoo on your arm, the phoenix. It represents you.
It's a phoenix on my chest.
No, there you go. On the chest, the phoenix. What does the phoenix represent to you, bro?
So basically, in the past, I had a dragon tattoo on my chest because, as you guys know, some of you don't know, I used to be in the gangs, right? So dragon was a symbol of strength and dominance. And when I wanted to leave, I actually tattooed a phoenix to cover my dragon tattoo, which represents peace.
Mm, that's
So,
crazy.
so that's the purpose behind the whole logo. Like dragon tattoo on the back, on the past, phoenix tattoo, like phoenix, which is the rebirth. So it's like yin and yang kind of vibe.
Wow, beautiful, bro. I love that explanation. Okay, well, guys, for those that know and those that don't know, why don't we do a quick introduction, Jonathan, on who you are and what we'll be discussing today.
Yep. So diving right in. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been, hold on. Do I start the slides now or
Yeah, you
what?
can start it. Go to the next slide and just go ahead and jump into it.
All right. So here is my story. Okay. So for those who already know me, this is a whole backstory about me, right? So I've been raised in a very, very controlled environment since I was young. Okay. I live in a very comfortable family, not rich, not poor. But as an Asian kid, I'm pretty sure some of you probably heard of rumors or stories where, Asian kids, we always have our family, like they plan your whole life, right? So I was one of them like this, right? But mine was a little bit extreme. I didn't have a childhood, and my whole life was planned ahead of me. And that took a very, very heavy toll on me, because um, I became very, very bottled. And when I hit high school, I became complete opposite, right? All it needed was just one bullying to happen, and then I snapped, right? Immediately in first year of high school, I went from a mommy's boy being picked up from school every single day, from high school to tuition to swimming to badminton to piano, into totally opposite, right? I became a very rebellious person. I just didn't want to do anything that anybody asked me to do. I didn't respect my family. I didn't respect my teachers. I just did whatever the opposite, right? And then that led me to a very, very dark path. I started going into gangs. I started smoking very young. I started putting tattoos during high school, and I always keep getting in fights, right? But I was in nightlife like from 17 all the way for a couple of years. And I had success very early because I was in nightlife. I started a model agency, and I had shares of clubs. I started running clubs, and I had early success. But that created a lot of problems, right? Because just imagine when I was young, I was in gangs, I was having a lot of money, I was having clubs, I was filled with girls, drugs, party, and power, right? After that, I realized why I needed all this. But back then, as a young guy with all this together, it created a lot of problems, right? And that was where I realized I needed to change. But at that situation, it was so difficult to change because I was in a very toxic environment, gangs, family, with the friends, the environment, the country, the place. I couldn't change even though I knew I wanted to, right? And then something happened, okay? God broke me to rebuild me. That was where what I actually wanted, although it didn't happen the way I want, but I actually went to prison, okay? And in prison, God actually broke me down. Okay, I will dive deeper in the next slide on what exactly happened in prison and what went through my mind, what went through my heart. But God literally broke me down to rebuild me. Okay, and then fast forward today, from an inmate into a nine-figure entrepreneur, right? It is not an easy task, all within 4 years, right? I will also share with you the journey, the mindset, what went inside here. But the thing is, I managed to find my purpose. I managed to find the reasons why I'm doing all this only in prison, right? And it's so weird to be able to find all this purpose in the darkest place possible. A lot of people ask me, like, how did I feel um, being in prison? Like, did I feel depressed? Did I feel like giving up? But actually, I have always been telling people, prison is literally the biggest blessing that ever happened to me in my life, right? If not for prison, I wouldn't have the mindset that I need, the skills that I learned, the iron grit that I have from prison to be able to go through any kind of shit that happened to me anywhere now, um, to get to where I am today.
Jonathan, how many years were you in prison?
I was in prison total of about 3 years, which total is about 1,000 over days.
Damn.
So yeah, just imagine, guys, 1,000 days in prison. And it's not a normal prison like a first world country, second world country. Not saying it's not difficult to be in. It's in the worst prison in Bangkok, right? If you see the photos below this, we literally sleep like this. every single day for about 3 years. 50 people in a room, one toilet, right?
Damn.
So being in rock bottom taught me a lot of things, right? And then because of being in rock bottom, I managed to gain the skills, the grit, the perseverance, the resilience to actually skyrocket to where I needed to be right now, to go through all kinds of obstacles, all kinds of hurdles in life. And that's where I used the kind of leadership and skills I had that I've learned in prison, the mindset that gave me that, and the books that I've read to finally build the company that I'm running right now, which is BibTech, right? With a team of about 140 people right now, I think 143. And for the chance to be able to build such a big catalyst to actually impact global change. And later I'll share with you again what went on because I literally wrote this in my vision board, right? I wanted to create solutions to millions of people in the world. But back then I didn't know how. But then it all just happened, right? And then once I finally have the success that I needed, the authority that I have in my industry, I finally again move on to the next step, which is also in my vision board. I want to change lives of millions of people. Again, this was in my vision board. I knew, I wrote down why I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how. And now I'm here kind of creating like a dream, right? I wrote this, I want to create a program, and this is my first webinar of the program. So I'm very excited to actually start sharing this with all of you.
Boom.
So in prison, right? So this is photos of me actually in prison. If you guys can see, this is me. This is also me. And this is the actual living conditions of prison, right? I was in there 1,000 days, lying on cold floor, 50 to 60 people in a room, one toilet, fights happening all the time. And in the bedrooms, there was never a dark moment because in the prison, they don't want to turn off the lights because people might just escape or people might murder each other. So the lights are always like full on white light, even when you're sleeping. Just imagine what it does to your head. You know, they don't even let you have darkness. So, and the thing is, it's not just the prison environment that was bad. The psychological is also bad because the first day that I went in, I don't know if it's a sign from the universe or what, but the first day that I went to prison, of course, I have it like the survival instinct kicked in, you know, because I was in gangs before my whole life. But then when I went to prison, when I was in the room the first night, somebody in the cell beside me was actually sick. An old man was sick, and they were shouting for help for the officers to actually come up and save him, right? They left the body to die over there. Okay, and what happened next, which created a lot of fear for the first time in my life, when they left the body there and they only brought the body down the next day in the morning, meaning they let him die, they left the body there like it's nothing, they brought it down the next day. They know what's going on. And that was where the first time in my life I felt fear. Because as a Singaporean, I've traveled the world, in Asia back then, okay? Life was quite important, right? I'm pretty sure. In most first world countries, if you die, it's a serious thing, right? Even if you're a criminal, if you are sick or you're injured, they actually do make sure that you have the healthcare or welfare you need. But in prison, in Bangkok's prison, they just let it die. So that was where I start to feel change the whole perspective in life. Like I realized life is so cheap in some countries and how fragile life is actually, right? Like you're just a number in prison. They don't really care if you die. And then there is constant chaos going on. Just imagine being in a place filled with drug addicts, murderers, crazy people. Because remember, it's the worst prison in Bangkok. It's a drug prison, right? Um, I went to prison for a drug case, by the way. So it was a drug prison, and everyone is like crazy, or they think that they are big gangster, and there's always constant fight happening every day. So there's never a time where it's quiet and peaceful. Never a single second. Every single second, people are shouting, fighting every time. And that even got to a point where I witnessed in my room, a fight broke out, and someone took a small, like shaver blade and slashed someone's neck around the whole neck. And it was attempted murder, like to take a blade to try to slash around the whole neck, and we stopped everything. The blood was squirting all over the place. And after I realized, after asking, like, hey, what happened? Like, it was like pretty serious. It's over food. Guys, it's over food. Some guys took the food and they gave to someone else, and he was pissed off, and he just took a blade and wanted to kill him. Like, then I started to realize that, oh my God, like, life is so fragile. And that was where I started thinking I cannot continue being in a place like this. I started praying every single day, right? That was where I started my whole self-development journey. When I started noticing too much of this kind of chaos, there's only two paths, right? One, you either become like that. Two, you stay away from it, right? And being who I am in the past, I was in gangs, I was very aggressive, I was fighting all the time. I know if I go that path, I'm just probably going to get killed, right? So I decided to pray. I decided to make a change. I started praying every single day, and then meditating, praying. The first week was good. I started feeling a little bit more peaceful. The few months later, I started feeling bliss. I started feeling happy and blissful in prison, in the middle of chaos, right? And a few months later, I started hearing voices telling me, because I was praying like, um, please keep me safe. Please make me peaceful, because I was going crazy, right? People keep fighting. And then suddenly a voice spoke to me, right? But back then I didn't know what voice that was, but the voice spoke to me like, didn't you pray for a change? And that's it. And then I realized that, hey, I think this is the change that I wanted. This is the chance that I finally have to make a change, right? And then I realized that God actually used this lesson to put me in a place away from everyone that I wanted to stay away from, in solitude, and then broke me down and gave me the rock bottom foundation that I needed to skyrocket my life. So that is where I actually learned a lot of stuff. And not only that, okay, something crazy really happened too. I was a Buddhist when I was younger, right? I even stayed in the temple for 21 days, 14 days to actually pray. So I learned a lot of Buddhist teachings, which also I'll share with you guys later. And I was stuck in a Muslim room for 3 years. I was actually locked in a Muslim cell for 3 years. So they were trying to teach me and convert me every single day, right? For about 3 years. And that taught me a lot of things, because being a Buddhist, being a Muslim room, and I was in a Catholic school, I'm exposed to all three different religions. And then that was where I realized that, hey, actually, I realized all religions have actually the same teaching. They are just different directions leading different cultures, different people to one direction, to one end goal, which is peace, love, fulfillment, right? So all these things only happened because I had so much time with myself, and I had so much peace to actually go in deep within to find all these answers, right? So that is why I actually created this whole program, because when I was in prison, I needed help, right? And then after I came out of prison, what I've learned from prison, I want to share with as many people as possible, so that you guys don't have to go to prison to learn what I learned. You get what I mean? So you could actually use my story to become like a survivor guide or a guidebook to get through difficult times. Because like if I could do it, I believe anyone can. Right? So yeah.
Bam. Guys, if you enjoyed that story, drop some fire emojis in the chat. That was crazy. It gave me chills. All right, let's go to the next slide.
Yeah. So, and why I'm telling you all this, okay? Because I came from literally rock bottom, not even rock bottom, guys. When I came out from prison, I was actually negative 120K because I was overspending in prison. Okay, that's a story for another day. Okay, I wrote it in my book, but I was actually in debt of 120K. I lost my social media because 5 years without my email access, I lost my Instagram and Facebook. I didn't have my phone and my laptop because it was taken or it was confiscated from me when I was arrested. So guys, imagine I was out of prison and I had totally zero, probably even minus so much. And right now, I'm able to go from cell to CEO of a 9-figure company, even on Forbes top entrepreneur of the year 40 under 40. I found my purpose in prison. I'm even a diplomat right now. I've done partnerships with presidents from Central African Republic and a few more in the coming year, and even backed by industry giants like Booking.com. And I've done public speaking keynotes in more than 50 countries in the world. So my main purpose of sharing this is to show all of you guys that the main problem with most entrepreneurs, right, is not that you are stuck. Okay, anybody can do what I did. Okay, the biggest problem with most entrepreneurs, online coaches, founders, is all the same thing. We are not stuck because of info. Okay, there's information and knowledge all over internet right now. Okay, the biggest problem most people are stuck in where you are right now is because you are still okay. Just imagine this: how are you going to change yourself if you're still the same person that you are for the last 3 years? Just imagine that, right? The problem is identity. Okay, and what it means by that, I'll explain later. The biggest problem everyone have is identity. You can never change your whole life if you still are the same person that you are before, right? Old self will give you old results. It's just as simple as that. Okay, you will never be able to change, to have a huge significant change, if you don't have new systems, you don't have accountability. Nothing will change. And this famous saying, okay, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity, by Albert Einstein. A lot of people try to change, say they want to change, but they keep doing the same thing again and again. Guys, you will never be able to change unless you change your mindset and yourself, right? And the thing is, limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome is very, very true. Okay, and what is that? I'll also explain later. But the problem is a lot of people are still stuck in what they think that they believe in. They think that they're not good enough, or maybe they think that the position that they're in now, right now, they're just probably lucky, right? If you keep thinking that way, you keep thinking so small, and you keep thinking like how you think before, you will never be able to become that new best version of yourself, right? How many of you guys feel the same thing like I mentioned earlier? Maybe just give me a thumbs up, right? Many. Okay, I felt the same thing too, right? I feel the same thing. I had limiting beliefs in the past, imposter syndrome. I felt like I'm not probably not good enough for this position, and that kept me stuck for so long. Okay, I've been running my company for about 4 years. For the first 3 years, I had this same problem. Okay, and it kept me stuck for so long. And only after I start executing on the frameworks that I have in the last 2 years, everything started to change exponentially. Okay.
Guys, if you're not already taking notes, you better pull out your handy dandy notebook. Always have it ready to go. Sorry, Jonathan, continue.
Yeah. So lesson number one, okay? You don't rise to goals. You fall to identity. You have to make the change. So what this means, okay? Many of you guys probably heard this before. I'll start next year, my New Year resolution. I'm going to go to gym. I'm going to start, change my new job. I'm going to start my new startup. And the problem why everyone fails, or majority of you guys fail, is because no matter how you change, no matter what you do, you will always go back to your default setting. Okay, you will always fall back to the old way or you are thinking in the past. Let's say I'm Jonathan 1.0. I want to go to the gym. I want to have a good physique, but I'm still Jonathan 1.0. Wanting it it takes so much effort for me to just try to become the new version. You understand? But the thing is, you have to actually change your identity before you actually can achieve those goals, right? Point number two, unlearn and relearn. You guys heard this before, like you'll never be able to fill a cup that is already full, right? Just imagine if your cup is already full, you keep pouring water on it, it will just overflow, right? Same like most human beings right now, right? A lot of people try to learn so many things, new skills, new courses, new programs. But the problem is you will never be able to change anything much if you still have that old habits, old programs that you have in your mind, right? It's actually, after hearing me explain, it will all make sense to you. Okay. The fastest way to start learning new things, the fastest way to become your new version of yourself, it's literally by unlearning everything, right? You have to empty the cup first, right? You probably hear this teaching before many times, but nobody really break it down what it actually means, right? By emptying the cup, you're actually removing old habits, reprogram your whole operating system in your mind with brand new habits to become that new self. Okay. Point number three, most important point, new self, new self-image equals to new standards equals to new life. Okay. What it means is to be able to become a new person, literally you have to kill your old self. That's it. It's just so simple. Okay. You have to rebirth to reborn. If you want Jonathan 2.0, there's only two ways to do it. One, you either upgrade one part at a time, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, all the way to 1.9, and then it becomes Jonathan 2.0, or you just delete, update the new version, Jonathan 2.0, and that's it. It's just so simple. Okay. And this is one of my favorite quotes, right? Rock bottom is the best place to be because the only way forward is up. So what it means, you guys heard this before, is if you really want to have a skyrocket growth, the best place to be is really bottom, rock bottom. Okay. Even in the Bible phrase, okay, in Psalm 113, he raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes, right? Even in the Bible, when God wants to give you a crown, he doesn't give you a crown with no obstacles. He literally sends you giants. He literally sends you to the darkest dungeons before giving you the biggest prize, right? And it's all for a reason, okay? I'll move on to lesson number 2. Okay. So these are what really produces real results. Okay. I don't know what you guys see in the internet. There's a lot of different ways people try to teach you, but these are the 5 things that I have compacted in my years of experience, hundreds of books, coaches, and programs that I had. I've compressed to these 5 points. Okay. Number 1, clarity kills anxiety. Okay. What does this mean? Some of you guys have a lot of big goals, right? And then once you start to think of what you need to do, what is the progress, what is the results, and then you start to feel panic, right? It is normal, right? I'm human too. I used to feel the same thing. And the goals look like it's very far. And sometimes, when you grind so hard, you feel like I'm still very far away from my goal, and you start to be so anxious that, oh, am I failing? Am I good enough? Blah, blah, blah. You start to have self-doubts, self-sabotage. Everything starts flooding in. But once you have clarity, what clarity means is you have to have your why. Okay, so before you do anything, you have to really question yourself, like, why am I doing, why is this my goal? It could be your family. It could be because you want to live a comfortable life. It could be because of you too, or it could be because of your wife. You want your wife to live a comfortable life, or you want to retire your parents. Your why gives you clarity, and that clarity will kill the anxiety, because every single day you just wake up automatically very clear in what you need to do, and you just do it without any fear, any doubt in yourself. Okay. Number 2, rhythm over motivation. Okay, what is rhythm? So actions actions creates momentum, and the momentum creates rhythm, right? So once you start having actions, you just consistently create action, you just keep doing the thing that you need to do, automatically you create momentum. And once you have the momentum, automatically you don't even have to feel motivated at all. Because again, any of you guys who like to watch motivational videos, let me tell you something, okay? Motivation is not lasting at all, because it's emotions. You're going to watch my video, you're going to feel, oh yeah, shit, I'm so motivated to find stuff. But if you don't have clarity on why you want to do it, tomorrow you wake up, you forget it. Okay, just like watching a motivational gym video. You just want to go gym for today, you're done, and then you give up. Tomorrow you say, I give up, right? But once you have action, you have the momentum, naturally you will feel like shit if you don't go to gym. Okay, so action, momentum creates rhythm, and rhythm is more important than motivation. Okay, point number 3. By the way, I want you guys to screenshot this and write it down, because these are very important. It might feel like it's not, but when you deep dive and you write it down and you actually take action, I guarantee you in the next 30 days, you'll start to see results. Okay, point number 3, consistency over intelligence. Okay, a focused idiot will always win a distracted genius. Okay, as long as you're consistent, you will win somebody who is very smart. Okay, the problem is there's too many people who thinks that they are very smart nowadays, especially in the industry that I'm in. Okay, I'm in a crypto industry, payments, and banking, the 3 biggest industries. Okay, there's so many people trying to say that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. But what do? I just keep grinding. I just work. I just keep showing up. I just keep working hard. I just keep improving myself 1% every single day. And then just by me being extremely consistent and extremely disciplined in my growth of myself, my mindset, and my company, I automatically just keep um, taking over and keeping up and catching up with all these big giants from all over the world. It's the same story like the tortoise and the hare, you know, the rabbit, you know. I just keep being consistent every single day. You out trump every single one. Okay. Point number 4, speed over perfection. Okay, this is my favorite. Right. You can do search online. There's podcasts speaking about it. Alex Hermosi, Andrew Tate, even Dan Martell. Every successful entrepreneur says the same thing. Okay, speed is very important. Okay, and why? Even Elon Musk also says, okay, why he's able to succeed so fast and so much faster than every single one is because the time that he spent to execute something, to fail, to execute again, to figure it out, to execute the third time, guess what? People who are still trying to be perfect haven't even started, right? They are spending so much time planning a perfect business plan when actually all you need is just to execute, pivot, execute, change, execute, fail until you succeed. Okay? So speed, guys, is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you do make a mistake because you don't have a teacher, you don't have somebody to scold you. So why are you afraid of making mistakes, right? Just do it. Just do what you plan to do. Just do it. Fail, it's okay. Do it again. Try something else. Do it again. Doesn't matter, you know? Because once you already start executing fast, you already are ahead of most people in the world, because most people in the world still busy procrastinating, still busy trying to be perfect, and they haven't executed. Okay. And point number 5, which is something that I've learned only in the last 2 years. Okay, because before that I was just consistent speed, consistent speed, consistent speed. I didn't have accountability. I didn't track my progress. Okay. It's only the last 2 years that I start tracking every single thing I do. Every single thing, as in really, I write down every day, I journal, right? What's happening in my mind, my soul, my heart, my business, right? I have daily routines where I actually literally plan out my whole day in the morning. I have gratitude mornings, I have work blocks, I have prayers, and I even journal what lessons I need to learn yesterday. What am I grateful for? My personal, career, and my business every single day. Okay. What this creates is a habit to myself to reflect on every single thing and to track my progress of every single aspect in my life, not just monetary, but even my mindset and even my heart. And what it helps is once you start reflecting on your day before, you start auditing yourself naturally. And you start to think that I thought I was so busy yesterday, but why did I only do that? You know, like you start questioning yourself, and then you start to become very anal with yourself, and you start to pick on yourself, and you start to improve, right? Because how are you going to improve if you don't even know what you did for the whole week, right? Probably majority people, I'm not saying all of you, but majority of people go through day by day, not even knowing what they did the day before, right? So guys, track the reps, have a routine, plan your mornings, block your days, start tracking your daily progress, and I guarantee you, once you have all these 5 points, screenshot this. Once you have all these 5 points, I believe, I strongly believe your whole life, your whole business, whatever you're doing will improve significantly. All right.
You're not taking notes already. You need to. Remember, money makers are note takers. My mentor taught me that. So I have my page of notes and it's recorded. You may or may not get a recording, but make sure you're taking notes. Jonathan, that was fire.
All right. So I hope you guys are taking notes too for this, okay? Because it is only when I did all those stuff and all this that I started having a breakthrough in my whole life, right? It is consistent work. Of course, the first 4 years of my grind after prison, it was a slow grind, right? But I needed the lessons that I've learned. I needed the coaching, I needed the advice. And that is why actually, again, I'll share with you why I'm doing all this, right? But it's just because I executed all those stuff that I needed that I started having a breakthrough. Okay. The day I stopped negotiating with my excuses, I stopped procrastinating, I stopped thinking that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'll do this tomorrow, maybe, I have bad genes, I cannot have a Captain America body. It's only when I stopped giving myself excuse and thinking like, if they can do it, why can't I? That I started having this breakthrough. Okay. And I start to choose obedience over feelings because feelings are always temporary, right? I started thinking like, okay, if I'm tired or if I'm lazy or whatever reason, I still have to do what I need to do. I still have to go to the networking event. I still have to go for that meeting. I still have to go to gym. Why? Because my why is so strong, right? I wanted a very strong why. I needed to impact millions of people around the world. I needed authority. I needed success because I want to retire my family, because I need that success to be a living testimonial to be able to impact millions of people. My why was very strong. So I started ignoring my feelings completely and I just chose consistency and discipline, right? And once you have all this, right? All these small wins, it could be small wins like going to gym every single day, eating clean, making my bed every single day, making my cold shower every single morning. Um, like all these small little wins, you might think now that it's just some small, what is it going to do, right? But let me tell you this, it actually plays a very, very important part in my life, and it will in your life. Why? Because when you have all these small little wins where you promise yourself you'll do it and you do it, what actually happens is you start to become very confident with yourself, right? Like but you are okay. Let me ask you something. Don't you think you are disappointing yourself and lying to yourself if you tell yourself, I will eat clean, and you don't? And you tell yourself, I will go to gym tomorrow, and you wake up, you feel like, I think I'll go the next day. Don't you feel shit about it? Like you feel like shit about yourself, right? That's the problem. A lot of people go through life like this. They keep disappointing themselves. And the problem is, it's so weird. If you're working in a job, if your boss tells you to arrive at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m., what do? You probably arrive at 6:50, right? But majority of people, when you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. today, you wake up at 7 a.m. and you're like, I'll just snooze and I'll wake up at 7:10, I'll snooze 7:20, and you just ignore yourself. Without self-love, with disappointment in yourself, your confidence with yourself drops. And once you lose confidence with yourself, automatically when you want to do something big, what happens is you tell yourself, I don't think I can do it. Like just even going to gym every day, you can't even do it, right? So just imagine this. If you start thinking the opposite, every single thing you tell yourself you do it, and you just do it. That's it. You start stacking these wins and you create that momentum, and that is where you actually have your rebirth. Okay? Once you have this momentum, automatically you will start to realize your imposter syndrome will be gone. Why? Because just like me, okay, let me tell you something, okay? Back in the days, there's so many things that people tell me that I can't do, right? I cannot, I cannot tell my story about prison because I'm running a fintech company and banking, right? Um, Nobody will care about my prison because like it's prison. I'm an Asian, and it's a stigma to go to prison. And they told me that, with my genes, I cannot get fit. I'm an Asian. So many things. But once I start putting in the work, the grind, all this just fall into place. It becomes so difficult for me not to win. Winning becomes a habit. Like I don't know how not to win. Like every single day, because I'm so consistent in my daily grind and so focused in my end goal, it's almost impossible for me not to win. You get what I mean? Because I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped partying, I just focus on the end goal every single day. You just can't lose, right? And that alone got rid of my imposter syndrome because like I deserve it. Of course it's God and the universe, but everything that I wanted, I believe I can get it. Why? Because I have almost hit 60-70% of all the goals that I wrote, impossible goals that I wrote down in my vision board in prison, right? And it's insane just thinking about it. It's just 4 years ago, okay? And that momentum completely killed self-sabotage. Okay, what self-sabotage means is a lot of you guys, like how many of you guys realize that when I start to have some success, I start to or sabotage myself by, I don't know, doing alcohol binge, start partying, start doing stupid habits that bring you back to where you were again. Right? How many of you guys realize that you have the same problem? Like maybe give me a thumbs up or say yes, right? I have the same problem too, right? When I have money, I party. When I have money, I play around. That's self-sabotage. A lot of you guys have the same problem and you don't know why and you don't know how to solve it. So let me give you the key the key to solving this problem, okay? Just create momentum. Okay, and this is why all this matters, okay? Your family needs the healed version of you, okay? Your team, your company needs the disciplined version of you. Nobody wants to follow a very flaky boss, okay? Nobody wants to follow a leader that can't be consistent or disciplined, okay? Your purpose needs the rebirth version of you, okay? If you want to do something great, first you need to become the best version of yourself. Common sense, right? You can never become, you can never achieve greatness if you still think like who you were 5 years ago, right? We need to keep evolving. We need to keep growing. We need to keep improving ourselves every single day, okay? And once you do all this, the world will work in your favor, okay? It is literally magic, okay? I'll explain a little bit more later, but once, once you start shifting your mind with all this, I guarantee you 100%. Why I'm so confident is because I've already personally, unofficially helped more than hundreds of students just by advising them. And I've spoken to thousands of entrepreneurs and they all have the same problem. Okay. They want to change, but they just want to change, but they don't want it hard enough, right? They just want to change, but they don't want to transform. They want to improve themselves, but they don't want to move to a better environment. They don't want to cut off toxic friends. So once you start healing, becoming the best version of yourself, the whole world and the whole universe will work in your favor. Okay. And how this is how you do it. It's just these 4 steps on how you actually become the best version of yourself. Okay. Take a screenshot. This is all you need. Number one, release labels that no longer serve you. Okay. What this means is many of you guys, or even myself, no matter what country you're in, you have labels given to you by your school, by your family, by your friends, probably like, you're from a Muslim country, you cannot do this. Or maybe you are small build, you cannot be a basketball player. Or maybe you can't be a swimmer. There's a lot of these kind of labels in your mind program to keep you small in the school program system, in the media, the first and most important step to actually start rewriting your whole mind, rewriting your whole life, is to kill all these labels of yourself. Like, for example, if I were to believe that I cannot be a motivational speaker, I believe that I cannot, nobody would hire someone with a prison background in a bank, or have tattoos to to do a keynote for a banking conference. If I believe them, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? It's because they said that no bank would want to work with me. Guess what? I started my own bank, right? So I want you guys to know, limiting beliefs is the problem with the world right now. It's because people tell you you cannot do it, or even sometimes you feel that you want to try, but your fear of judgment, or even like these limiting beliefs, you start thinking that I don't think I can do it, I don't think I'm ready, is what keeps you small. Okay, you need to cut those labels, ignore it, shit on it, light it on fire, I don't know, just get rid of it in your life, get rid of it in your mind, and just do it, because why not? That's it. Okay. Second, you need to be able to forgive your former self. Okay, this leads to healing. It's the same thing, right? Everyone makes mistakes, right? Some more, some less. If you've never made mistakes in your life, you probably aren't going anywhere in life, right? Your life is just going to be like this, right? You're going to be comfortable your whole life. If that works for you, fine. But I'm pretty sure everyone in this call right now are here to make a change, right? So what I need you to do is you need to forgive all the mistakes that you've done in your past and let it go. Embrace it, own it, claim it, and use it as your strength. Just like how I'm using my prison as my strength. Because let me tell you something, the prison for me is really the biggest blessing in my life. No matter what, even now my company is 9 figures. We are doing like 100, I think we did 120 something million last year. When I'm in podcasts or interviews, okay, it's great. You have a good company. Okay, it's amazing. Okay, that's great. But what brought you here? And when I start speaking about prison, the whole focus is like, oh my God, how do you go from prison, sell to CEO? And that's where people remember me for. There's so many fintech millionaires all over the world, but there's not many fintech and banking CEOs who have been through prison. Not prison in 1 month, but actual prison. So that gave me the catalyst and the story, an authentic story that people really care when they go to networking events, right? So the biggest step to actually own your authentic self, second point, is to forgive your former self. Okay, point number 3, to declare a new name. Okay, what it means is I need to start to write down how this new, I don't know if you're Jonathan or you're Eric or whatever name you are, write it down. How you want this new version for yourself to be. You want to be disciplined, you want to be faithful, you want to be relentless, you want to be aggressive. Write it down. Okay? You can never be able to become a new version of yourself if you don't even know what you want to be. It's just that simple, right? I need you guys to want or already picture yourself how you want this new version of yourself to be, and write it down. And number 4, which is the most important part, okay? All this is useless if you don't own it and you're not confident enough to say it, okay? This point might be something small to all of you guys, because initially I have the same problem. Okay, I want to be a public speaker, but I'm shy to tell people. Because why? I'm afraid of judgment, or I actually have imposter syndrome still hit inside, And if you're so afraid to share your vision with someone, meaning you have doubt in yourself, and meaning you're not confident that it can happen. And if you're not confident that it will happen, it will never happen. Okay? So there's this famous boxer, Conor McGregor, right? He said this famous phrase: if you can see it in your mind and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. This is very, very true, right? I have been telling everyone one day I will open my own bank. One day I will write a book and I will impact millions of people all over the world. I will be a motivational speaker. 3 years ago, I said this, and right now I'm living everything that I said I will do. So if I can do it, all the world champions, Cristiano Ronaldo does it, Muhammad Ali, the famous boxer, Mike Tyson does it. They keep speaking that they are the legend, they will be the best, they will be number one, and they became it. So what I want you guys to write down is identity statements daily, speaking it out loud. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, initially it might feel uncomfortable. People might think you're crazy, but does it matter if they think you're crazy? Yeah, they're gonna think you're crazy anyway until you succeed. That's the biggest thing. 4 years ago, when I wanted to do these crazy goals and visions, everyone thought like I'm delusional, right? It doesn't matter because right now they're all gone. Right? They're not even in my life anymore. And it's not that I cut them out. It's because when I level up, I realized that why am I even trying to keep them in the first place? One, they are not giving value to me. Two, they're not even supporting my goals. Three, it's not worth it anymore. So this is the mindset shift that I want you guys to understand. It won't be comfortable. It's going to be a tough journey because one, to be able to become the new version of yourself, you literally have to kill your old self. And by doing this quantum leap in your full reality from Jonathan 1.0 to 2.0 or even to 3.0, not everyone will be able to follow you, right? Because that version is going to be crazy. And then you'll start to hear a lot of bullshit like, oh, I think you changed. Why did you change? How do you forget about us? But you know what's the thing? That is the point of life. That is why we are doing what we are doing. That is why we're all in this call, right? We want to change. We have enough of being that Jonathan 1.0. We want to become the best version of ourselves. So once you do this jump in leveling up, the people who want to stay where they are, they will not be able to follow you, right? So here, the art of daily war. The problem with a lot of people in life, they go through every day by day. I don't know, like sailing a ship. I don't know, like floating in the water. Like it's a just calm, comfortable day. Okay, and it really baffles me to see that because there's so many people living such a terrible life. Okay, and they don't want change enough. And the trick to this is you need to be able to live your day like a daily war. Okay, number one, you need to win your mornings. You need to focus all your difficult things in life, in your day in the morning. It could be your planning of the day, it could be your gym, it could be your cold bath. Squeeze all the difficult stuff in the morning. Why? Because when you put all the difficult stuff in the morning, naturally you wake up early, you do all those stuff in the morning, and once you complete all your tasks, you're going to be feeling so proud of yourself and your day is going to be good because I've done all the hard parts in the day. What else is going to, trouble me? Number two, guard your inputs. This is very important. Okay. Whatever you consume subconsciously changes your whole day, your whole mind. Okay. It could be music, it could be media, it could be friends. It's very important. Why? This is how I actually changed my whole life. Okay, because I stopped listening to nonsense music. I stopped talking to a lot of toxic friends. I stay away from all these people who start to doubt me. Like if I want to do some crazy thing, I was very spiritual. I was doing a lot of charity, uh, talking about God, making more money. And if I feel that they are toxic, I leave. And why? Because all this plays a very important part. What you consume automatically is what you output. Okay, even social media. I want you guys to screenshot this, and right after this, if you want to change, go through your TikTok and your Instagram, look at all the algorithm, what pops up in your homepage, and start to filter it. Okay, if it's all girls, that's probably what's going in your mind, right? If you want self-development, you want religion, you want everything, start removing. There's a thing for you to actually remove all these things that you don't want to see, so that they keep feeding you good content. Okay. Number three, protect the calendar like your life depends on it. Okay, this is also my favorite because I have ADHD and OCD. I'm a productivity junkie. Okay, every single day, what I want you guys to know, if you have nothing on your calendar and you just do everything based on your feeling, your day is just also going to flow based on your feelings. If you don't feel like going to gym, you don't feel like having a meeting, it's just going to be, that's just what's going to happen. Okay. If you every morning you wake up, you plan your whole day, your day will be extremely productive. Okay. And don't take unnecessary calls, unnecessary meetings, because why? As long as it doesn't bring me closer to my goal, I don't meet them. I don't talk to them. I don't do it. I don't put it in my calendar, because every single day there's only 24 hours. Okay. And if you want to be very successful, we have to be more productive than people. We need to work harder than people, and we need to have, of course, proper mentors, proper frameworks to be able to catch up with everyone in the industry, right? And every single day, your time is precious, your energy is precious. So plan every single day in your calendar as much as possible. Number four, journaling, planning, executing, and reviewing. Like I mentioned before, is very important. Every single day, you need to literally write down everything. Okay. You either write it down in your notebook or type it down in your notes, whatever it is. If you guys want, I'll share with you some templates later. But the thing is, I want you guys to start journaling, planning, executing, and reviewing what was executed the day before. Okay. And this creates a very subconscious audit in your mind, where you start to become very crazy in terms of trying to improve your execution of, like, managing yourself. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, moving on. The next is the art of telling your story. Okay, you guys don't really need to have a crazy story like me going to gangs and prisons to actually have a story. Every one of you have your own story. Okay, some of you probably have a, I don't know, like a bad childhood, or maybe have a broken family, or maybe your dog died, or maybe even, you went overseas to work and then you got bullied at work, or have some racist thing growing up. All these stories, I want you guys to use the story and to actually create this framework that I've wrote here. Okay, the struggle that you had, the shift in mindset that you did, and what the success was, and then put that into a service. Okay, this gives you the framework that is actually what people really want to hear. Okay, and why I'm saying this is because my LinkedIn blew up when I actually started telling my story. Okay, it is crazy because LinkedIn is supposed to be a very corporate kind of thing, but it's only when I start to tell my story and show what I've learned from my struggles into a success, into a service that I want to share with people, my LinkedIn blew up. Okay, this brings me to my next point. Vulnerability creates credibility. Okay. In the past, a lot of people, it worked in the past when a lot of people post Lamborghini photos or Ferrari photos. Everyone wants to be perfect. Unfortunately, right now, social media is too perfect, right? Everyone is like this now. So what actually stands out is, instead of being awesome, now being flawsome works better, right? The more flaws and authentic and raw stories you have, people like you more. You stand out from the perfect social media. You have problems or you have flawsome stories, you stand out from the crowd. And your vulnerability, you might think it's your weakness. But guess what? By telling your story, you feel ashamed of yourself. But your story actually creates trust and it actually opens up stories. And like, instead of being shy with it, once you share it, it actually gives people a guide, like what I mentioned before, like a survival guide, right? So people don't have to go through your story. They can live your life through your story so that they can change theirs. Just like how I'm doing the same in here to share my life to you guys so that you guys will be like, oh yeah, I didn't think of this. Let me try it in my life and change your life, right? Share to serve, not to perform. This is also one of the life-changing moments for me when I overcame my fear of speaking in a crowd and speaking on stage. Okay. I've always been a perfectionist, right? I've always worried how people judge me, how in the past, right now, I don't really care, right? Because the delivery of the message is more important, right? Until somebody actually, one of my mentors taught me this. Why do you care um, whether you make a mistake or not? Because being in a position like this, even if you made a mistake, nobody really knows or nobody really cares. What they care about is the value that you give to them, right? For example, right now, it doesn't really matter even if I stutter or my accent is not good, because my conviction of wanting to share this value to you guys and wanting you guys to benefit from this, what I guide you, is more than how I judge myself. Like, I don't really care if you think my English is not good, as long as you receive my message. Okay. So this is very important. Share to serve, not to perform. Okay. And once you start doing this, you'll be surprised. You'll open doors you never imagined. Okay. Just by me opening up to my prison story, it has actually, in the first 3 years of my career, first 2.5 to 2 years, 8 months of my business running BibTap, I've always been trying to keep my prison story aside because I was afraid my investors might pull out their investments, people might judge me. But I was trying too hard to fit in. And the problem is, by fitting in, I actually fit in. You get what I mean? I actually become like everyone else. And it's only when I start to share my story that people start investing in me because of my story. And everything just blew up, and like exponential growth. It became like overnight success because people actually see that 3.5 years of grind and like, oh, why did I not see this guy? This guy is amazing. You get what I mean? So every one of you have your own hero's journey. I want you guys to own your story and start being proud of it, grow from it, and use it as a story to tell people. Okay. It could be the platform that you needed to skyrocket your whole career. And this is my favorite topic. It's Ali's favorite too. Okay.
True.
The art of manifestation. Okay. Once you master this, you literally can bend the whole universe into your reality. You guys might think I'm crazy. Those who don't understand, don't believe, you'll think that, how does manifestation work, law of attraction work? Let me explain something. Manifestation, praying, it's all similar concepts, right? Keeping quiet and putting what you want to the universe and letting the higher being help you. Okay. And let me break it down. Manifestation has many different parts of it. but these are the few that has worked for me, and it's the easiest to follow. So let me explain to you guys. I want you guys to write this down, okay? This is literally what changed my life. If you guys have not heard of this book, The Secret, I want you guys to really write it down and check it out, okay? Number one, clear intention, okay? Find your why. Everything you want to do in life, okay? Probably write it down. Write 10 goals you want, okay? With specific details, and write down your why. Because the what, remember what I mentioned, the what, the how, the when is not important. The most important thing is your why. Once you have a very, very clear intention on why you want to do it, it's so important for you to have that clarity in why you want it, and automatically it will happen. Okay? Because all your actions, all your words you speak, everyone you meet will just focus on this intention subconsciously. Okay? Number two, identity and alignment. I want you guys to understand this. For example, one very good example, okay? For those who know me, I don't used to be this shape, okay? I was used to be a skinny guy, okay? But I wanted a Chris Evans Captain America body, right? To want that body, you cannot just keep wanting it, right? First, because if you want it, it's going to be so much effort to achieve it. What I mean is, for example, I need to be able to eat certain amount of carbs. I need to be able to exercise 7 times a day, this and that, this and that. It's so much effort just to become like him, right? But what actually works so much better is this. First, you become, then you receive. Okay? Imagine, let's say I want to be like Captain America. Let's say I become him. I am him. What am I going to do? Will I still want to party every night? Do I want to drink? Do I want to smoke? No, obviously not. Because I won't be able to maintain my body if I continue destroying my own life. I need to eat enough. I need to work out every single day. It becomes natural, right? And then once I start to think like this, automatically I start feeling disgusted when I drink because like, oh, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? I need to wake up early tomorrow, you know? I need to be closer to my goals, right? I need to get that physique that I envision myself to have. Okay? Identity and alignment. Once you become, you receive. Okay? Number three, specific vision and focus action. Okay? I want you guys to write down, like I mentioned, right? Five, it could be five, it could be 10. Write down specific goals that you want with specific numbers. It could be, I want to become a millionaire by 2026. Don't write millionaire. Write 2,500,023. I don't know, whatever numbers you want, write it down. Write it down and see it every single day with the date and exact details. I want a Ferrari Roma or Ferrari 458 in 2026, June, red color, this red. Write it down. Why? The more specific and focused you are, the more it will come true. Okay? And next, emotional vibration. Okay? This is very important. Okay? The universe reacts more from your emotions. Okay? Remember, I mentioned you write down 5 to 10 goals, right? Think of your why. And now, what I want you to understand is imagine you already have it. Okay? Imagine you already have that Ferrari 458. Your why, remember I mentioned your why have to be the strongest. It has to be why. Don't care how you get it, don't care when you have it or what you do to get it. Your why have to be very strong. And once you envision you already have it, imagine the emotions that you feel. You know, like that bliss, that euphoria, that dopamine rush that, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. Close your eyes and feel the emotions flood through your veins, flood through your body, right? Feel it. Every single day, look at the vision board, feel it, and let the emotion go through your mind, right? Every single day, feel like you already have it, and you will be one step closer to achieving it, right? And this may sound crazy, but you will not be crazy, and you will thank me later when this happened to you, okay? Because so many of this happened to me too. So many of this kind of crazy manifestations thing happened to Ali and a lot of my entrepreneur friends. It's insane. And it is not myth, it is science, okay? Next, gratitude, right? What you appreciate appreciates. It is just that simple, right? What you focus on expands. If you focus on shit, your life will be shit. If you focus on flowers, your life will be flowers. It's just so simple, right? But I understand there's probably some of you who are probably in rock bottom right now, who have nothing to be, you think you have nothing to be grateful for, right? What I want you to try is this exercise, okay? When you have nothing, let's say you have a bad day, just try to think, close your eyes and think of something to be grateful for, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're broke as fuck or you owe a lot of money to people, like people are chasing you for payment today, you feel like you have the whole world against you on your shoulder. Just be grateful that you woke up healthy or you had a nice cup of coffee this morning. Just think about it. Or maybe just think, I'm actually lucky I have a roof over my head, or the weather is good today. I don't need to be in a war zone country. Just think of something to be grateful for. And guess what? Once you start to think of something to be grateful for, automatically, subconsciously, your mind will start to think of other things to be grateful for. Like you'll start to think like, oh yeah, not just this coffee. I think the food I ate was pretty nice too. And oh yeah, I think I'm pretty lucky compared to, it just flows in. And then you'll start to have a better day, and then start to have a better week, and then your whole life will become full of gratitude. Like if you guys do not follow me, follow my Instagram and look, I literally post of gratitude every single day. Why? Because not only am I grateful for everything I have right now, I want everybody to also feel that gratitude energy, right? Because it spreads. Okay. The next point, environment. Okay. This is very important. Okay. Design your life so that everything becomes effortless. Okay. And what it means is, for example, let's say, okay, let's say you're living in US. Okay. And then I'm not saying US is bad, but what I'm just trying to say is, if you're living in a in a household where eating unhealthy is a norm, okay, and you try to have a good physique, it's almost impossible for you to, because you're eating with your family, right? You can't be saying, no, I'm just going to eat healthy chicken, healthy white meat, chicken breast. They're going to think you're crazy, right? So instead of trying to change them, change your environment, right? Move to a place for a few months, move to Bali, move to somewhere where that what you want becomes a lifestyle. Everyone is doing that. It's abnormal for you to eat unhealthy. And looking at the gyms in Bali, there's people with Greek god body everywhere. So being fat as fuck is so abnormal. Okay? And then your whole life becomes effortless. Eating healthy, going to the gym, having a six pack becomes normal because you change your environment. Okay, that's very important. And the last point, detachment. Okay, this is something that I've learned ever since I went to prison, when I started losing friends, losing family, um, subconsciously, and that's where I learned detachment. And once you are able to detach from things, material things, physical things in this world, you'll start to see the opposite happen. Okay, it's so weird. And what it means is, the more you are afraid, for example, let's say money, okay? The more you're afraid of losing money, the more you think like I have to keep my money, I cannot let my money lose. If you guys realize that every time you think that way, the money it will just be gone somehow or other, right? The more you let go, you're telling the universe that it doesn't matter if it's gone. What the universe understands is you don't mind that it's gone because you already have it, right? And then once you have this detachment, what I want you guys to know is in the future, this is the same like prayers, okay? Think about what you want, think about why you want it, and just let go, okay? And why this guarantee works is because most people have the same problem, okay? When you want something, for example, I want $1 million by next year, okay? If you're in property or you're in insurance or whatever business you're in, you probably will think like, okay, if I need $1 million next year, if I need to buy a Ferrari, I need to sell 20 houses, for example, right? Because I need the commission of 20 houses. And what do? You start to put on, like, a horse, right? Like race horse, they will have this thing to cap so that you stay focused on your lane and nothing else. That is the biggest problem with everyone right now, okay? Let me tell you why. If you are so tunnel vision in your way of thinking how to earn $1 million, that is the only way you're going to see, right? There are million ways of getting what you want, right? Let's say I want to buy a Ferrari. I want to own a Ferrari, not buy. I want to own a Ferrari by 2026. Okay? Let me just put this into an example for you to understand. If I think I want to get a Ferrari by 2026, what if I just think I want a Ferrari by 2026 because I want to gift it to my dad because this is something that he always wanted and I want to make him proud and I want him to finally have what he dreamed of because he's been giving me everything that I want my whole life. And then let it out in the universe and let the universe deliver. Okay? Because why? Maybe I have one deal that gives me $1 million commission. It's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. Or what if somebody just randomly tell me, hey, John, I have a Ferrari, very old Ferrari, but nobody wants it. Do you want it? You want it? I sell to you cheap. Like, or you just take it, or you just pass me the money whenever you want. It is possible. It sounds crazy, but it is possible. So I want you guys to let it go because there are a million ways of earning that money to buy it, or somebody might even give it to you. The universe will give you what you want in other ways that you might not imagine. Okay? This is the power of manifestation. Let me see. Okay, and why I built all this. Okay? The reason why I built this whole program is because of this. I didn't have a mentor. When I was in prison, I needed a beacon of light. I needed hope. I didn't have one. When I came out of prison, I wanted a mentor to teach me not just business, teach me the skill set that I need, mindset and everything to grow. I didn't have one. So I decided I will become the mentor that I want for anyone who needs my help so that they don't have to go through the same shit that I've been through, struggling, trying to evolve, trying to grow for you. Okay? I literally built the program from different stages. Okay? For people who need it at 18 years old, 25, and 30. Okay? And this is not just theory. Okay? A lot of coaches and online coaches and mentors out there, what they teach is theory. They have the strategies and the skills, but they don't really know how to deliver the message for people to understand and how to execute. What are the actual frameworks that people need to know to actually break through, to actually level up, right? And because why I'm so confident is because I literally use all these different frameworks and I failed multiple times to actually come up with a success model that worked for me. And what I'm just trying to do is give you this framework that I used from prison to running a 9-figure business now to give this exact framework to you. Okay? And this is not a very, very complicated program built for like millionaires. Okay? Literally anyone can use it. Okay? Whether you are misfit, whether you are founder, first-time founder, or whether you are an online coach, as long as you believe and you follow this framework, guarantee you will change. Okay? And one of the main personal reasons why I'm doing this is because I've seen too many fake gurus online. Okay? Scamming people, teaching bullshit. They literally just coach coaches on how to coach coaches. Okay? Zero skills, zero business experience, just scamming. Okay? And I really, really don't like that. Okay? What I want to teach and what I want to give value is I will teach you how to rewire your mind, how to change into become a better version of yourself, how to build that brand that you need to be able to become the best version of yourself. Okay? So this is not just mindset. It is not just extra money that you earn. This is actual transformation. Okay? From not just external, but internal as well. And this is the exact framework that I've broken down into 3 different frameworks. Okay? Number 1, awaken. So what is awaken? Right? Like I mentioned, see the truth, name the lies. Many of people in society right now are asleep. Okay, they are asleep in deep sleep. They don't realize that they have a problem. Okay, all of you guys in the call right now, congratulations. You realize you have a problem. You realize you want to change, but probably you don't know how to. Right. So for awaken is where you wake up and realize. Rebirth. Rebirth is where you realize you have a problem and you want to rebirth, you want to reborn. Okay, you need to kill the old self, kill the new old habits, the old patterns, and embody that new self to rebirth into a fucking phoenix. Okay, ascend. Ascend is where you wake up from your deep sleep, you rebirth, reborn into your new self with the new persona, new identity, new brand. Finally, you are ready to level up with new systems, new leadership, new network, and new wealth generating tricks. Okay? And with these 3 different frameworks, let me explain to you how some of my students have benefited from this. Okay? Mogai is one of my early students. Okay? He used to be a designer working with me under one same boss long time ago. Okay? He had very good skills. He's one of the best designers that I know. I think Ali also met him, right? But the problem is he's always behind the screen. He had zero visibility. He doesn't speak up, but he's very good in what he does. Okay? But a lot of things he wanted to do, but he didn't dare to because of his mindset, right? Imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, all this. So we rewired his identity and told him to share his story, his journey on social media. Once he started being more vocal and sharing his story and his journey and posting it so publicly online, he started having more than 100,000 views, 16 recruiter calls, and job offers from companies he didn't even imagine. Okay, companies that used to reject him are now coming to him. Okay, all because he shifted his mindset and he started doing things he don't usually do. And why I was helping him with this posting initially because he wanted a better job. But after he did the program, one of his goals was actually to do his own startup. He was sick of working online he was sick of working for someone else. Okay, and with this program, also part of my company, very happy to see him working with us. He actually launched his own startup. Okay, which is also one of our white labels, but from another chain. He launched his own payments company together with my technology with his own partners and own team to launch another payment company, not my competitor, thankfully, but his own payment company in a new chain himself. And he has already generated more than 300,000. So it's such an amazing journey that he has been, and I'm very proud of him. And another one of my students, okay, he been through the rebirth program, but before that, he's 18-year-old, very good in sales. Okay, he's one of the best salesperson that I know in his industry at his age. Okay, probably even much better than many people I know. But the problem is because he didn't have the proper execution operating systems. He's just based on money, 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 sales, sales, sales. You know, sales skills, sales. And because of that, he was constantly chasing revenue, sales, and he hit a plateau. Okay. He was feeling burnt out. He didn't know what to do. After the program, we started shifting his mindset. He started shifting from chaos to cadence. Okay. And after the program and coaching, he already had new plans to scale his business, right? Instead of just himself, he started to plan with a team. And one biggest step that he took, he stopped procrastinating. A lot of things that he thought maybe he was going to do 6 months, he's going to do next year. He immediately told me that he's going to be moving to Dubai probably 2 weeks after he finished the program. So, why I'm sharing with you guys all this is just sometimes all we need is just someone to give us the proper framework and the proper direction. We already know what we want. We just don't know how to get there, right? That's why coaching, mentorship is so important. Instead of spending 5 years trying to figure out, or maybe spending 3 years in prison, or maybe spending even 10 years in a job you don't like, sometimes all we need is just a coach or mentor to tell us, hey, look, if you want to get there, this is how you do it. Okay? Don't waste time. What you're doing won't work. Just do what I tell you. Okay? And your whole life will change. Because I did it with multiple mentors. My life changed significantly multiple times. And these are the other few testimonials, a few of the many testimonials that I have. But what is the important thing that I want to share with you guys is this, okay? All of these guys that has worked with me before, they are students. Not only have they become my friends, we are still working together somehow because remember, I love working in a team and I'm building a huge ecosystem. So we always constantly need talents, we need partners, we need in the ecosystem, whether you're a copywriter, you're a designer, whether you're a businessman, whether you're a coach, I don't care. But once you have the right mindset, I'm 100% sure you fit into this ecosystem where we can help each other grow. Okay? This is the most important thing I want you guys to understand because your network is your net worth. Okay. And in a big ecosystem, everyone with the right mindset, pushing each other to become best versions of themselves, giving each other value, the growth that you actually see will just skyrocket through crazy. Okay. Why I'm saying this is from first person experience, I surround myself with winners. It's so difficult to lose. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. And let me ask you this. Spend the next 20 to 30 seconds with these questions in mind and ask yourself, okay, what would shedding your bad habits look like? Okay, what would doubling your income feel like? And what would becoming the best version of yourself look like to people around you? And what would your rebirth look like? Okay, spend this next 5 to 10 seconds just to imagine how will you feel like being the best version of yourself. Okay, it feels good, right? So why not? Why are you not doing it? That's the key. All right. And the thing is this, okay? This is the success formula for success. Okay. It's literally this. I have thousands of entrepreneurs speaking to me all the time, asking me, John, give me some tips, or give me some success tricks and formula that you use to to succeed so fast or to grow so fast. And this is the exact formula, okay, which is growth. The growth that you want is literally equals to the rate of the speed that you learn stuff plus the speed that you change. That's it. Okay? I repeat, okay? How fast you want to grow, it's equals to how fast you learn and how fast you execute this. Okay? If someone who is smart, all you need to do is just, okay, acquire knowledge and skills faster through online coaching, through ebooks, through books, to mentors, to advisors, and change faster. And that's it. So with this in mind, okay, whether you want 10,000 a month, 500,000 a month, or even a million a month, all you need to do is literally learn faster and change faster. Okay, so imagine this. Right now, you have the knowledge. All you need is just the execution and how to implement that will actually take you from where you're at right now to where you want to be. I'm pretty sure every one of you already have somewhere in your mind after going through this whole webinar with me. You already have like, oh yeah, I think I want to be this, right? So this is literally it, okay? And if you feel that this resonates with you, the next slides is for you. So the last 6 to 8 months, I've been coming up with a very, very comprehensive program for anyone who really, really want to seriously change their life, right? For those who are ready to kill the old you, to reinvent your identity and become the best version of yourself, this rebirth program is exactly for you. So what's going to be in this program? Group coaching by me, experts, Ali, and a few other experts in their industry will be personally coaching. Okay. 2, you will have branding and positioning help. I will literally give you tips on how to rebrand. Okay. Remember, first part, rewiring your identity, killing your old self, becoming the new version. What you need next after you kill the old version, how to rebuild your brand as the new version. This is something that I'll teach as well. Okay. How to find your own authentic story and create a presence online and offline. Okay. And also accountability check and group coaching with me personally. I will actually, together with the community, what actually helps a lot is accountability, right? A lot of people that I've met and personally coached, what they actually lack is accountability. You already know what you need to do. You just don't have somebody like a personal trainer. You don't have somebody to tell you, do another 2 more reps. Have you done your have you done what you need to do? Right? So with this group coaching, what you have is accountability and tracking as a group. Okay. And then the last thing is what many people naturally want, how to actually start building a side income with what you learned. Okay, you've learned to rewire your mindset, you've learned to rebrand, and now you have online presence. Okay, I will literally teach you the exact frameworks on how to set up a side income with online funnels. Okay, and how to monetize your skills. Because remember this, if you have skills, you can actually sell these info products online. Okay. And right now, we actually have this only today offer. Usually it's $5,000, and right now it's 50% for only the first 5 people. Okay. Don't worry. For anybody who want, this is the QR code. I'll share with you later on, okay? And the next one is Ascend, okay? For people who don't like group coaching, who wants personal one-on-one mentorship with me, and you want to level up your game, okay? People who already probably 5 to 6 figure a month, and you want to level up. Like, hey John, I want you to teach me how you become a diplomat, or how you do partnerships with global brands, how you get on Forbes or magazines worldwide. I want your help. Or even what I do in this one-on-one mentorship is I literally deep dive in with you in your business, in your offer, and find the problem and skills that you need, and find the problems and solutions you need to scale that business to the next level, right? I will dive down, sit in and listen and guide you, okay? And not only that, right? I will actually do a brand audit and personal consultation on your business model and your personal branding, your social media, how to position. Because one of my biggest strengths in these last 2 years that I realized is networking and positioning, right? I know how to position myself in a way that people look for me instead of me going to them. Because remember, I was trying to pitch to thousands of investors and VCs to get them to invest in me. And I failed until I finally realized the positioning was wrong. I was going out as a fintech founder, pitching to them to invest in me, where I positioned myself as a fintech leader and the authority that I have with traction and revenue. Everybody started pouring in and begging me to invest, right? So I can guide you how to position yourself as a thought leader, how to post, the way that you position yourself and market yourself in your branding, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your X, everything for you. So our usual price for one-on-one mentorship for 8 weeks, for anybody who sign up in this, instead of 8 weeks, what I have decided is I will give you personal mentorship for 6 months, right? I will literally sit down and work with you to try to help you scale your business for the whole 6 months. It's usually 15K and it's now only 7.5K to have access to me for the next 6 months.
Jonathan, how has personal branding changed the game for you?
Wow, personal branding has changed the game completely. Like, okay, let me share this story as well. Okay. 1.5 years ago, I didn't have any social media presence. Okay. My Instagram was like maybe 2, 3K. My LinkedIn was like 500. When I wanted to try to speak or join networking events, they literally rejected me and told me that I don't qualify. Okay. And when I attended the conferences as a guest, and then I attended and I listened to the panels that were speaking that I wanted to speak at, you know what I saw? I saw unqualified people who don't know what they're speaking. And then I went to search in LinkedIn. Then I found out the reason why, because they had 20,000 followers. And then I realized how important social media branding is. Because unfortunately, in this current era, in 2025, no matter what you speak, let's say I go to a networking event and I tell my story, nobody's going to believe me anymore. What they do, the first step is they're going to Google me. They're going to search in GPT and LinkedIn, Jonathan Lowe. And then they see what pops up and they're like, oh shit, this guy is legit, right? So this is what I meant. Branding is actually extremely important right now. If any of you guys, you can probably search Jonathan Lowe Singapore or Jonathan Lowe BibTab. You'll see all the. So this is what I will help you build.
You can Google you. I've Googled you before. You're in a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. So
Stages, talks. You have a TED Talk coming up?
yeah. So I actually do have a TED Talk coming up real soon in Q1 next year, and also a book launch, which
Nice.
which all my students will get the book for free. But
Did you
yet,
write it in prison or no? No, you
no.
wrote it
So
after.
I actually wrote a part of it in prison, and I completed it just 2 months ago, because I added not just the autobiography of the prison journey, but also what taught me along the way. All right. So
Mm,
this mentorship is insane because I teach you how to do your branding and I guide you on how to get yourself featured in all these media magazines, even help you if you want to get on diplomat access. You can come with me. I'm a diplomat. I can bring guests to diplomat events and stuff like that. So you have access to politicians, to diplomats, and a wide network. And you have access to my inner circle. That's the main goal.
mm,
Yeah. Okay.
epic.
And the last is Awaken. Okay. It's a 4-week program, but it is for people who like to learn at your own pace. I don't want to join a group call. I don't want one-on-one mentorship. Just give me the program. I learn it myself and I do the homework myself. This is for you. Okay. The usual price is 2,000 and right now it's 50% for the first 5 people, 1,000. And what you get is exactly the same in the group coaching, but it is recorded and there's ebooks for you to read on yourself and there's homework modules for you to follow. Like for example, you need to rewire your identity. What you need is to write down your old self and write down your new self. You need to write it down. Just follow the homeworks step by step and you have the same results as well. Okay? Daily rituals, tools, ebooks, and guided um, guided directions on how to actually go through this whole program, everything you need. Okay. All right. And so here is the 3 offers. Anybody who want, you can just sign it up now. And remember, it is only a one-time offer. After that, there will not be this 50% offer anymore for these first 5 people. And it's only limited. Yeah. And what will come with this as well is all the students that sign up today will have my book, my signed book. 2, you have access to all the new ebooks that I'm already writing. I've written like I think 4 ebooks, right? All these people will have lifetime access to all my ebooks. And you'll have access to the community, right? Remember, I mentioned your network is your net worth, right? You will be in this community together with like-minded individuals helping each other grow. So take screenshot of this, go back and think. You have only one day to decide. Let me know. We'd love to see how many of you guys want to change your life and take action, right?
This is where the difference is made, guys. This is where the difference is made. I've spent over $500,000 on personal development. What about you, Jonathan?
I think I spent about 200,000, not 500, not half a million, but about 200,000 on personal coaching, mentorship, books, courses. But yeah, really, the most important thing to skyrocket. So okay, I want to add this story I forgot to mention earlier. This was a life-changing moment for me too, because I had a mentor for fintech, okay, called Douglas Gunn. He's now my partner. Okay. When I launched my first company in 2021, my Web3 marketing agency, my limiting belief, my service was only $1,500 per month to 3,000. Okay. And he saw potential in me and he's like, let's start this Web3 marketing agency, but let's mark up your price. I'm like, okay, let's do it. How much should we charge? And he said, charge 30,000 standard package, 50,000 and 100,000. I'm like, oh my God, who the fuck will pay that amount of money? He said, trust me, just put that amount. If you charge peanuts, you get monkeys. Okay, just put that amount and let's try. And guess what, guys? I have never seen, remember, I was in entertainment industry in the past, model agency. I never did service business before, but he's seen much more than me. And I have never seen anyone paid 30,000 US a month in retainers in marketing services. Okay. Because surrounding my level back then, people only could afford 1,000 to 3,000 to 5,000 a month. But what he did was he unlocked my limiting beliefs. And during my first month, I closed my first 30,000 US a month retainer for 6 months. He signed a 6-month deal. And then I was like, okay, let me try to hit 100K. And in my third month, our sales was 150,000, 150,000 retainer a month. And that's where like, okay, let's try to hit 500K. So the moral of the story is sometimes we need to learn new things and we need to have coaches and mentors to break our limiting beliefs, because you don't know what you don't know, right? You need somebody who's like, hey, look, 5K a month is like, it's like peanuts, Let's just do 50K or even 500K. Like, why not? To you, maybe you might think 500K a month is like, oh my God, that's impossible. It's scam. But let me tell you something. Me and Ali, we've seen people hit 100K, 500K, even millions a month in online sales. Okay. And it's not scam. They are literally providing actual service, earning that amount of money online.
Think about it. They pay Andy Elliott, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone 200K plus for, 1 year, not even 1 year mentorship, one event.
Bro, our friend, Jose, he paid 100K to learn from Andy Elliott for 3 months.
Yep. Yep.
So it's crazy.
Exactly.
100K a month, 10 students, it's $1 million.
Crazy. He's
So
and it's because he's built his personal brand so well.
exactly. His value he gives to people is good. His branding is really solid. That's why his price point becomes so expensive. So really, guys, the moral of the story I want to tell you is if we want to level up fast, like how I leveled up in the past, is I have mentors like that everywhere, right? I learn from experts all over. That's why I unlock limiting beliefs every week. So this is very important. If you want to unlock new levels in your life, surround yourself with like-minded people, right? They can bring you to the next level.
Beautiful. I think we got one more slide for booking call.
Yep. So guys, I hope you guys took a screenshot earlier. And if you guys have any questions, you can book a call, scan this QR code, book a slot, we can talk. Okay, take a screenshot, guys, so you don't miss this. You can scan it later, but don't miss this. All right. So now we open the Q&A.
Guys, this is a moment. If you have a question that you want to ask Jonathan about rebirth, about personal branding, about his time in prison, about BipTap, anything, go ahead and type it in the chat.
So if you guys have not, this is my social media. Do drop me a follow. And I think we'll move to Q&A, right, Ali?
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect timing. Last few minutes we always do Q&A. It's a good time to get some questions in. Jonathan, what was the biggest thing you learned as a catalyst event that kind of helped shift, like, and that you would recommend to all your students?
Again, can you repeat that?
Biggest catalyst event.
Um, I mean, for me, it was prison, but I don't recommend anyone should go to prison. But I believe the only and the best way to actually have significant change and growth in your life is to actually force yourself to put yourself in a very uncomfortable position because that is the only way anyone can change, right? To put yourself in a very uncomfortable position to force that change. There's no other choice but up, you know? And it's only, for example, once you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, move to a new country, do a new job, that you're not only forced to change, but guess what? You're going to have an interesting story too, you know? Probably you go to Brazil, you got robbed, or you got, I don't know, something happened to you. And that's going to be your strength. You know, it's going to be an interesting story you can tell people, right? And that will create a lot of change in life, in your life, if that makes sense.
Hey guys, we'll drop the links. There's a question right there. There's a couple questions. Jonathan, do you have a good relationship with family?
Yeah, where do I see the questions? Hold on. I'm trying to find.
Webinar chat. I'll read it to you. Do you have a good relationship with your family now?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. My relationship with my family was very bad in the past because I was in gangs and I was always fighting and I was always in clubs and I was always not at home. I was always overseas and I was married pretty young. I was married when I was 21, right? And I was like a outcast of my family for a long time. And I didn't speak to them for many years after high school. After I started putting tattoos and my dad chased me out of home, um, the relationship became very bad. And everything became better when I went to prison and I saw my mom break down and cry, right? That's where I realized that, oh my God, like I cannot, what if I lost her when I'm in prison, right? I haven't even given back to them at all. And I started making the extreme change after I came out of prison. And right now, my relationship with my family is crazy. Like they're so proud of me. Imagine from cell to CEO and from prison to Forbes. I mean, just this, and I'm now a diplomat, like inspiring millions of people. I mean, not millions yet, but inspiring thousands of people globally um, by sharing my story and helping them change. They are so proud and so happy with me, and the relationship with my family is has never been better.
Great question. One more. Um, how did you get into the fintech space after prison, and what was the problem you're trying to solve?
Um, so for me, I entered the fintech space. I started off in Web3, crypto. So I wanted to solve the crypto problem. So crypto wallets, crypto payment into crypto cards. And then only after that, like 1.5 years of building that solution, that I realized that the problem is much bigger than I thought. Like it's much bigger than just crypto. It's actually even the unbanked countries like Africa, like Latin America, that I actually zoomed out and evolved and moved from crypto into banking. That's where I actually also made a huge evolution in myself, my mindset, my skills. Because remember, I had completely zero experience and knowledge in crypto, completely zero knowledge and experience in banking and payments. And suddenly I'm running a company like that, um, in a completely huge industry, right? And then that's where I started solving actual problems, and I realized that so many companies and countries need solutions like us. And then I started going all in into payments and banking.
Great question. Great question. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add, Jonathan, before we head out? I want to appreciate everyone for staying during the duration. I know this was long. If you're on the east side of the world, it's late. And if you're in EST, early morning, starting the week off strong, that's a good thing, you know. Take this momentum, take what you learned and run with it. Anything else to add, Jonathan?
Nope. I really hope every one of you guys benefited from this webinar. I hope you guys wrote down what you need. Really, not just take this webinar like, okay, cool. And then, no, remember what I mentioned, right? Growth equals to rate of change, rate of learning, right? Whatever you learn today, immediately tomorrow, wake up, try to execute something, okay? Because it all takes that first step action to actually create momentum and actually change your life. So, guys, I really hope you guys benefited from this and change your life and transform your life soon. Yep.
Amazing. All right, recording will be sent out. Maybe Jonathan will do another one in the next week, a few weeks. Go a little deeper.
Yeah, you never know. But thanks, guys, for joining, and looking forward to see you guys again soon. Bye.
Welcome to your rebirth. Have a good one, everyone.